In this video, we're going to be creating the rocket launcher. It's a little bit different to the other weapons that we've got in that this one actually fires a slow-moving projectile. So we're going to have a few objects for this. We're going to need the rocket launcher itself. We're going to need the rocket, and we're also going to need to have some kind of explosion at the end. So with that in mind, I'm just going to open up the rocket launcher here. So I've actually got some sprites already. I went on to Realm 667, got the Seeker Bazooka sprites. I seem to have put the sounds in here as well, my mistake. We will add sounds later, but there we go. I've got all of these sprites here. So I am going to make a duplicate of the other guns that I've got. So I'm just going to make a duplicate of the pistol and duplicate, and I'm going to call it rocket launcher. And then I'm going to go into that. I'm going to rename this to be rocket launcher. But I'm going to remove the script. I'm going to remove the script off this because we are going to write a different script for it. We also don't need the gun rays for this. So we don't actually need the gun rays. Instead, what we need is a position 3D. This is where the rocket is going to launch from. So we'll have to play around with that to make sure it is going to look like it comes out of the player's rocket. Now this gun sprite here, this is not what we want. We want to change this. And I'm going to go ahead and go down to sprites, the Seeker Bazooka sprites. And the first one should be fine for this. We'll get rid of that. And then the shoot one, I'm actually going to put all of these in. Let's just get rid of these ones first. So it's going to look like that. The reason all of these are nearly identical is just to bump out the reload time. I mean, we could use a timer on it, but this is what it is. I'm also going to turn this down to about 8 FPS. And there we go. Now, again, this one is going to be put in that bottom right corner like that. And maybe a bit more, or it does need to go in the bottom right corner because it cuts it off kind of there. So that's that part set up. And let's add a script for this. We'll call it rocket launcher script. And I'll just see, a lot of this code is going to be similar to the gun code. So let's just go ahead and put this in. We'll have var and shoot equals true. I'll just paste some of this stuff across that's already in there. Actually, no, it's all pretty unique. So then we go on ready, var gun sprite equals $, and it's on the whoops, $, and it's on the canvas layer. We want to grab that. And then on ready, var spawn location equals $, position 3D. And there's one more, on ready, var rocket equals, and we're going to make this rocket. So we're just going to leave that there for now. Okay, so we will make the rocket shortly. Now we need a function called launch rocket, or I'll call it launch projectile. Done. And I'll just write pass in there. And then the process. So if input dot is action just pressed. We could have pressed in this case. We can hold it down and can shoot. Then we're going to say gun sprite dot play shoot, launch the projectile. Call that function. And why is that giving me an error here? There is nothing wrong with that line as far as I can tell. Oh wait, I haven't actually said what action. There we go. There we go. Okay, and then can shoot equals false. We'll do the yield again for the gun sprite. Animation finished. Can shoot equals true. Gun sprite dot play idle, and that's it. So with this, we can go into our player code here, and right at the start, we'll give the player a rocket launcher, and we need to add another one of these here. That, and we'll call that, we'll grab that rocket launcher, and we should be able to play. Now if I hit E, I can switch to the rocket launcher. It is, for some reason, on the firing one. There we go. Okay, so I can hold it down and it will work. I can switch back to the other guns. There we go. His hand looks really big, but what can you do? All right. That's working. Now we need to make it actually fire the rocket. So we need to load up a new scene here. And I've got a new 3D scene ready to go. We'll just go into 3D. And we're going to create an area node and call that rocket. And then that needs a collision shape, which is that one there. And it also needs to have let's have a look, we need animated sprite. That's going to go as a root of the rocket, sorry, as a child of the rocket. And I need another one, which is another area node. This is going to be called splash damage. So things in this area are going to take damage, and that also needs a collision shape as its child. Now the collision shape for this rocket is pretty much where the direct hit is going to be. So I'm just going to use a sphere shape and make it quite small, about that. For the animated sprite, I'm going to go ahead, and there is a rocket here. This is the one I want to use, and we'll make frames. So new sprite frames, click on that. Rocket, and we're going to have one called explode. Oh, by the way, don't forget for the rocket launcher, for the sprite here, to change that sprite to idle, so that's what it starts as. Save that. So back here, we've got a animated sprite, which is the rocket. It's set to explode. This one here, and I'm going to put that into there. Now it should show up, but I'm not seeing it. Where is it? Oh, if I change it to rocket, there we go. So that's our rocket sprite. And then we will add in the explosion sprite. So the explode, there's two explosions here. I'm going to use the first one, which looks like that. And we can see what that looks like with this. Where do we go here? And change that to explode, playing. Cool, that's a bit slow. So I might speed that up to 15. That's better. And that all looks pretty good. So now I'll go back to this and I'll just change it to that rocket. Okay, we're going to add some code, or this collision shape, sorry, needs a, I'm going to put on a new sphere shape, and that one's going to be a lot bigger. I'm going to maybe turn it up to about there. So we have a direct hit here, and then everything here is going to take some smaller splash damage. So now we go into this rocket area, and I'm going to add a script called rocket. And my mistake, I shouldn't have added that there. I'm just going to close this, delete that from there, and save this into scenes, and then go ahead, and now it's in the scenes folder with everything else. So I do have two scripts called rocket. I'll just delete the original one here. What just happened then? I have no idea. Remove that, and I'll open up my rocket scene. There it is, it's back, and that's the rocket. This is the, yeah, no, that's the rocket script. Okay, it was on rocket launcher. Wondering what was happening. Okay, let's have a look at this one. This is pretty straightforward. We need a rocket speed equals 10. Then we need a function for dealing damage. and we need underscore process. And we also need to go into this area here and add in our signal. So when an area, when a body is entered, this here, we haven't got a script on it. That's weird. There we go. So we need to add a signal here. When a body enters this, we'll go to there. And also a signal on this one. When a body enters this, we go to there. Okay, now this one here, we're going to say, we're going to put in here, damage amount. And what we need to do is go through this part first. Actually, we can go through this. This is the easy bit. All we're going to do is translate this rocket vector3 dot forward, vector3 dot forward multiplied by speed multiplied by delta. That's going to move the rocket along its forward vector. So that will be good. By the way, we want to go to animate sprite, go back to inspector, and under flags, change this to Y billboard. So the rocket always faces us. It isn't hard to make it so that you can change sprites based on the direction you're looking at it from, but there is some complex maths involved. Implementing it is not difficult, but I'm not going to do it. And then we go in here. What's happened here is we have made some signals so that when a body enters this, a physics body, like a kinematic body enters this, we're going to check to see if it's a group in the enemy group, and if it is, then it's going to apply damage to that. So first what we need to do is, so let's have a look. I think I've done it slightly different. Yeah, I have done it slightly differently. So that's all right. I'll just go through the actual code that I've got. So let's just write it down here. We need enemies equals get overlapping bodies. So that is going to get all the overlapping bodies that it directly collides with. And that's fine. For body in enemies, if body dot is in group. So we don't actually need this here, but we will make a thing up here. Var rocket damage equals, we'll say 50 for a direct hit. Var rocket splash equals 25. And if body is in groups enemy, I'll just double check what my enemy group is. He is in a group called enemy. Yep. Go back to script. If he's in that group called enemy, then we're going to say body dot take damage, rocket damage, and that will destroy every enemy that it directly hits. Then I'm going to do the same thing. Enemies equals splash damage dot get overlapping bodies, and I'm going to do the same thing here. So I'm just going to copy this code. For body in enemies, if body is in group enemies, take splash damage. Now what that's going to mean is that I might actually take this down a little bit, because every enemy that's directly hit is going to take that and that, but I only want them to take 50. So they'll take both the rocket damage and the splash damage would be 50, but the guys that are adjacent won't. Well, in fact, I could just do rocket damage twice and that would work. So that's what's going to happen there. And that's the translate bit. That's giving me an error. Oh, it should be rocket speed. And then this part here, I don't actually want that signal to do anything. So it's only this one when the rocket enters something. We are going to set process to false. We're going to play the explode sprite. We're going to deal damage. Then we're going to yield the animated sprite until animation is finished. And then we're going to Q3. All right, so that is the script for the rocket code. Sorry if I seem like a bit confused there. I was just trying to figure out why I hadn't actually used this splash damage bit, but I realized that I had. And then finally in the rocket launcher, we're going to get this here, equals preload. And you can kind of use the arrow keys to scroll down here if you're not sure. And I want to preload this rocket here. So that's that. Launch projectile is going to, I'm just going to bring this code across. We're going to say variable new rocket equals rocket.instance. So we create a rocket, an instance of that. Get node root world dot add child new rocket. I don't want to add it as a child of the player because then when I move, the rocket will move with the player. It'll be really strange. And then new rocket dot global transform equals spawn location dot global transform, which is that there. So it's going to put that there. Now we need to test this and possibly move it around. The position 3D might need to move up or down. Let's test it out. Provided that actually works and doesn't. Okay, that just hit a wall. Why is it? Oh, it's hitting me. That's what it is. It's hitting me. On rocket body entered. So what I need to probably do is say if body dot is in group player, just return. Just ignore everything that's going to happen here. Let's test that. That rocket seems quite small, but let's see. Okay, that's working. I may need to make the size a bit bigger. I do need to have a crosshair. There we go. That did work. Okay, let's make the rocket itself scaled up, or the sprite scaled up quite a bit. I think the size of that is fine, but the sprite itself needs to be maybe 2 times. What's pixel size? Whoa, no, we don't want that. 1. What the? Just reset that. There should be transform down here. Or scale it up by 2, by 2, by 2. Maybe 3, 3, 3. That looks pretty good there. I'll test that out. And you'll see that if I did that a second ago. If I do that, it doesn't look great because we should be able to see that rocket going in a different direction, but that looked good. Okay, so it is working. We've got a rocket launcher. You could increase that rocket speed. If I hold the mouse button down, that's kind of the firing rate of it. You could increase the rocket speed very easily. Just go into here, rocket speed, maybe make it 20 and hit play. And then we've got a rocket that's firing at speed 20, a lot faster. Cool. All right, that's it for the rocket video. And next one, we're going to be doing a little bit of a rejig of how we control the player's health and stats.